Good morning, traders. It seems like we are still in this battle. Yesterday, we had a little bit of a slight up move and then a down move. Today, will we get that up move? The psychology of things, you guys are going to think I'm a little crazy, but I'm actually pointing a little bit to maybe a bounce today. And let's talk a little bit why that is on live trading right here. Of course, Benzinga.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, traders, let's bring on. I do got Nick Brown in the chat. And Ryan, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Not ready. He'll be with us in just a second. No worries, team. He'll be definitely doing it. He's just in a meeting in the background. He'll be right with us. Let's get into the market overall. We'll take a look at what's going on. And yes, I'm with you guys in the chat. I feel like, yeah, there is some the SPY breaking the range and things like that. Let's look at the way that I look at the market. We can always look at the way that Ryan looks at it. And I think this is very important to somewhat see if Ryan and I are seeing the same things. So that's also an important thing to look at. So one thing that I'm watching, right, is that now we're starting to break away from the 9 EMA. A lot of times, what do you see here? And I want to show you guys this, is that a lot of times when we do go away from the 9 EMA, what do we do the next day, the very next day? So like, let's say here, we break away, we close here at what? 446, right? Which is at the lower end of this candle because it's a red candle. But the very next day, we come back to the 9 EMA. Then this day, right? We break down. The very next day, we're closer to that 9 EMA. This is where I think that we could get a little bit of a bounce back because we cut down here, we bounce back. We cut down, I see us bouncing back a little bit. Things don't just always go in one direction. And I think that this is where a lot of traders quickly go to. They're like, oh, we're going down. We're going to keep going just down, like just straight down. And that's not the truth in the intraday. A lot of times in the intraday, you're going to get these momentum moves back up and then followed by the washout. Similar moves that we got yesterday, right? I mean, I was trading even Microsoft, and I was feeling good about it here. You know, it was starting to jump here at like 225, and I was like, man, I'm looking good. It's 323s. We're about to get back towards the 324s. And I actually got in on this spike down here through the 321. So I was feeling comfortable about this position. And then what happened? It started just coming down. So I ended up taking the profits off and taking a small gain on this and then watching it come all the way down through the 321 in the later part of the day. That showed me more and more how we just need to be careful. We're going to ride the momentum maybe back today, but also if we start seeing it come back against us, I'm going to take it off. One of my biggest indicators will be watching Microsoft. Can we recover 324s? I've given that level multiple times. And why? Because if we do recover that 324, we're going to get a move above the 9 EMA with a bullish engulfing look. That's what I look for a lot of times for a turnaround in the stock. We'll see what happens there on Microsoft and different stocks overall. Keep your eyes, of course, on NVIDIA. I personally talked about how on this day, on Tuesday, 450s made sense for a short. Now, as you start coming back, I'd really be careful. My outlook, right? If I was short at 450, I'm not letting this thing come back through 450 because if it does, it could easily catch a spike there to 460s and 470s. And next thing you know, you're caught in a really kind of rocket type of stock on the short side. So that's where I start being careful. I'm not saying that that moves right now, but if you do see that move go above 450 today, I would be very careful with NVIDIA. And this is not a stock that I want to be short for any kind of overnight action. I'd only rent it on the downside because I just feel like there's too much risk on the upside breakout above 450. Like that's not a move that I want to get caught in above 450. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other action. I say you keep watch on the KRE and financials because if those keep leaking, that's how I see this market breaking. If I want this market to really completely break it, it's going to be because regional banks come into concern and even some global banks go into some concern. As I'm seeing Bank of America down, as I'm seeing Citi just down big. Eventually, I think this is actually going to come to where we're talking about maybe regional banks collapsing again. And I'm seeing it. Look at Pac West. It's right back to where it was, even though it got the lift. And so I'd be careful on stocks like this. The regional banks, even Wall, looks like it wants to come right back down. I don't know about what's going to happen here, but I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't be betting anything on regional banks to the upside. I wouldn't even bet global banks to the upside right now. They just look like they're really weak right now. All right, that's going to be my outlook on the financials. I'll go to Ryan's outlook. Of course, we can take a look at different stocks here and talk about the overall market, but I'm going to kick it to Ryan and let him take control.
All right. Good morning, folks. Sorry for my abruptly leaving yesterday. Had a really awful day yet again. Internet went out in the middle of 2 of those day trades, and I ended up taking a huge L on DCTH. So that really kind of sucked. I would say the lesson here is make sure you have some type of backup. I was scrambling to get my hotspot on my phone live, and by the time I got my computer back on, it was too late. So yesterday really sucked. We're going to be looking to bounce back here today. Taking a look at the SPY, we're continuing our move below the 444 level, and which also coincides with the 50-day moving average. Key now is that we've had 2 closes below this level. So again, if we close today below that level, this should now mark really, really good resistance should the market bounce. Market's trading up a little bit here. Let's see if it continues that and gives it throughout the rest of the day. Looking over at the movers tool, there's definitely a couple of things we want to talk about. First one I want to talk about here is Cron. It's not actually gapping up here, but it had a really huge move yesterday. This is a former weed name, I guess you could say. Cannabis name, I guess, is more palatable. In any case, watch this one today. This might be in play again. No news or anything on that. I just mean like a continuation from yesterday. One of the other stocks that is going to be in play today is going to be MOD. This is MODD. If we go to the news here, yesterday, we actually had a PR here that they want to expand insulin delivery. We're up about 23% here today. Now we're leaking some of those gains back. We're right below the VWAP, but this is doing a really good job holding this level here sideways. So if we don't break down, let's see if we move through the VWAP. Volume, as always, going to be the huge tell here. AHI also on the list. Now I didn't see any news for AHI here, but turns out it doesn't really matter because we've traded AHI before with much success, even on no news. The one thing that we want to watch out for is what happened right here on August 14th, right? We popped in the pre-market, we dropped. It was weak the entire rest of the day. Really, you didn't get any type of upside move until the afternoon, and it wasn't great. It wasn't easy to find. There wasn't a whole lot of volume. So let's make sure that AHI actually sets up instead of trapping us and putting us behind the 8 ball early. We'll use the volume on this one as well to tell if this is going to work or not. PRZO, this was actually not on the list when I first investigated it this morning, so something new is going on here. This did pop almost as high as 160. It's kind of come back in. We'll see if this makes a move towards the VWAP. We do have a PR here. ParaZero signs a new development agreement with Latin America drone manufacturer Black Square. So here's one of the things I want to say about this. This is obviously a drone PR. Some of the drone companies haven't been great, and the PRs that often pop these stocks, they don't give like a lasting move. So we want to see if this really starts to come back in, or if this doesn't really have the volume. I'm a little bit more skeptical of this move. If the volume holds up and the price holds up, then maybe we get an upside trade here. But keep that in mind. You know, I'm in a drone play that I've been in for a long time, microcap ONDS. And it will pop when it gets some of these PRs, but it has a real tough time holding that pop and really making a multi-day move. So that's one of the things we want to take a look at here. Be very, very careful with this one as they, you know, I don't know that we'll necessarily get a continuation all day. A couple other names that are on here. XPEV looks like they are reporting earnings. I thought this was tomorrow. Yeah, it looks like it is tomorrow. Looks like it's just kind of a pop ahead of earnings. One thing to keep in mind is one of the things that we've seen is that stocks that run into earnings have a higher propensity to sell off after the print. And the inverse is also true. So stocks that sell off leading into earnings have a propensity to actually pop. We saw that in Disney, by the way. Disney's now selling off after the print, but we did see that pop on the actual earnings. So keep that in mind with XPEV here. Maybe we do continue to run up here. And if we do, maybe that makes playing the actual earnings print a little bit less palatable, as it will probably go to the downside based on what we've seen. XPEV in play here today. Again, watch the volume. I would imagine that NEO is going to be very, very similar to this. So I would put NEO in there as a sympathy play, depending on what XPEV does. I had a couple more here. I guess we'll just kind of throw Nikola in there. Nikola's its own thing. It's really kind of been trading giving us trading opportunities recently. The one thing I'd really want to see here on Nikola is a move through 206. We get a move through 206. I actually might be interested in a small scalp here. One of the other items that we had here is Billy. This is ticker BILI, and this did have a newsprint. We actually popped as high as 1640 and change. Billy, one of my favorite names. Billy Inc. shares are trading higher after the company reported an upbeat second quarter results. So looks like an earnings beat here for Billy, trading higher here today. We'll see if we end up getting some action here. What I'd really like to see is a move through 16 and the VWAP, which are right around each other. So we'll see if we end up getting that. Looking around here, I didn't really see anything else that is really, really great. Baba's obviously up a little bit here. I don't really care to trade that. IONQ, I noticed, is up a little bit, but I don't really think that this is a sector-wide move or anything. So, Nick, I'm going to turn this over to you to go through some of the news here before we get started. How does that sound?
Good. I was going to say, if you could throw up a chart of Cisco, they reported earnings last night. Q4 earnings came in with adjusted EPS of $1.14, estimates for $1.06, revenue 15.2 billion, estimates for 15.05 billion. ACQ1 adjusted EPS $1.02 to $1.04, estimates for 99 cents. ACQ1 revenue 14.5 billion to 14.7 billion, estimates for 14.57 billion. AC 2024 adjusted EPS $4.01 to $4.08, estimates for $4.05. And they see 2024 revenue 57 billion to 58.2 billion, estimates for 58.31 billion. And I counted AI this morning, Ryan. They said AI 34 times on the call. So something to keep an eye on.
So what does it mean? What's the threshold? Is it under 50? Is it over 30? What's the significance of saying AI 34 times? How does it compare?
You have to go back into the books because we've seen AI come up a lot more times in the call, and a lot of them coming up in big tech. And that's one that I keep track of a lot is big tech. I believe between Microsoft and Google, it was said over like 140 sometimes, Google 80 sometimes. And it does compare significantly because that's higher than it was the last quarter and then the last few quarters. But we're going to have to watch when NVIDIA reports because they tend to say AI a lot and they normally pump AI. So we're going to have to see how that compares to this quarter from last quarter. And of course, I don't think I'll be able to join the show that day, but I'll send you a message to say, hey, pass this along for AI, just so we can keep the followers and all the people that follow AI in tuned. And if they're keeping track like I am, they can mark it down in their notebook. But in the meantime, if you want to put Walmart up, they reported earnings this morning, WMT. Adjusted EPS $1.84, estimates for $1.70. Revenues $161.63 billion, estimates for $159.72 billion. Q2 total U.S. comp sales ex gas plus 6.3%, estimates for 4.04%. They see full year adjusted EPS $6.36 to $6.46. They saw 610 to 620, and they see full year net sales about 4% to 4.5%. They previously saw 3.5%. Walmart was lower pre-market. I see it's higher right now, I believe. There was a comment from the CFO on the call basically saying they see uncertainty in the economy during the rest of the year. But if you do, Ryan, compare Walmart to Target, we are seeing two different outlooks. Remember, Target yesterday, they lowered their guide full year because of net sales, because of comp sales falling below expectations and because of these the theft, but mainly because of comp sales. Walmart, on the other hand, beat top and bottom line, raising the guidance on the year end, full year, but that uncertainty could be looming around the markets. And I don't really think it's nothing to be aware of because we've heard this before in other industries that they see uncertainty. So really nothing to make of In my opinion, it's just basically reiterating what everybody else is seeing and what they're seeing locally. If you could throw up a chart of Hawaiian Electric, I believe ticker's HE. Yesterday, the journal was citing sources saying Hawaiian Electric's in talks with financial restructuring firms. Sources say, the journal goes on to say, citing sources, that Hawaiian Electric to explore options to address financial and legal challenges from the Maui fires. So this is something to pay attention of. Just watch this. This stock is getting hammered. Really nothing to make of. Not sure how you can trade a stock like this, but if you're an expert in this industry, you probably could. I am not, so I'm going to avoid this if I was trading.
Yeah, I want to add to this, though, because I've actually been talking about this a little bit with several people, and I actually traded this yesterday amidst the chaos. So right in here where it really kind of sold off, I actually bought it and tried to recoup some of my money from the disaster of losing my internet earlier in the day. The one thing to keep in mind here is that the thought might be, hey, this is likely to rebound. I would caution you on that. That thesis is okay, and you can watch that, but you really have to pay attention to what's going on here. It's really going to come down to the liability. If they're found liable, I don't think that this is necessarily going to come back. And what I would point to would be the PG&E disaster from several years ago, right here, November 8th, I believe it was. PCG. This was there was like a fire started or something. I can't remember exactly what took place here, but they got blamed, and that stock price has never recovered. This stock was near a 50 handle. It's currently in the teens. It has not recovered, and this is years ago, almost 5 years ago now. So I would be really, really careful on just saying, oh, this is definitely going to come back. If they're not found liable, yes, that might be the case. It might come back, but we don't know the details of all of that yet. Just be very, very careful with this if you do trade this. Nick, I liked your what you said there. I'd avoid this if I was trading. You really have to know what's going on for this to be a safe trade.
And if you could throw up a chart of CVS and Amazon, Blue Shield of California to drop CVS's Health Mark Care Mark as pharmacy benefits manager. That is according to the Wall Street Journal. Blue Shield of California to partner with Amazon and Mark Cuban's drug company. And there we are. We are open. I timed that perfectly again.
Well done.
Ryan, quickly before we start, did you see yesterday Atlanta Fed GDP for Q3? We're up again, 5.8%. That's up from 5% the day before.
I did not see that, no.
Yeah, we're continuing to move on this Atlanta Fed. Something to keep an eye on, but traditionally it's spiked higher and then it's moved lower. So something to keep an eye on.
All right, AHI is something to keep an eye on here. AHI moving, first move here is up, no position. Actually, one of the things I wanted to do here was add Bollinger Bands to my chart here. I'm hoping that this gives me a little bit better idea on entry and exit. AHI, big move here, so you really had to be in this right from the open. I'm not going to chase this move by any means. Yeah, Rando, I'm with you on that. But we live in a world right now where people have to be blamed, and it seems that if you're a company or if you're someone with a lot of money, you seem to attract the ire of people. So again, if you're going to trade this, just watch how these developments play out. Still looking around here.
I was going to say this time next week, Ryan, we have Jackson Hole Thursday, Friday.
I wish I was going, man. I wish I was going to Jackson Hole. I wish I could just get away from the screens, go to Jackson Hole, fish, ski, hike, whatever.
Next year, I'll go next year and I'll report live from the show from there.
Okay, I'll fill out some form that Nick needs my help, and I'll just go with you.
Yes, that works.
That's my strategy.
Powell should be speaking, but Yellen skipped in 15 and Bernanke skipped in 13. So
well they don't. I heard that there's not a lot in the way of magic mushrooms, so I wouldn't be surprised if Yellen's not there.
Well, yeah, I could get
Too
that
soon,
too.
maybe. Sorry. Gratz, mystery man. Guten Morgen, by the way. I didn't know that you were German, but there you go. Good luck on your venture into the real, as they say. All I see really here is penny stocks, which is disappointing for me. Cisco, big move out of the open here, Nick. Big move out of the open.
Hey, maybe they said AI enough times above what people were expecting. I don't know. New AI craze. Oh yeah, Ryan, did you hear this? I didn't know about this until Dan Ives pointed this out this morning. Palo Alto Networks is hosting a conference call tomorrow after the close.
Say that one more time.
Palo Alto is hosting a conference call after the close tomorrow night.
On Friday?
Yes.
Okay, that's peculiar.
I
don't know what to make of that other than that's weird.
Yes, to discuss the results, to discuss their earnings.
Yeah, that reminds me of like when a boss is like, hey, we're going to discuss your performance on Friday after the workday. That's not a good sign.
No, this is head scratching, they say, because this is one of the biggest PR disasters and black eyes we've seen in decades. That's what Wedbush writes this morning.
Okay. LQR, looks like our chat is hitting this one. LQR moving here. PRZO maybe here. Coming to the VWAP. Took some, that just got a little, I mean, I barely even got filled there. PRZO took a little here at 137. We'll see if this pushes and moves. The high we had in the pre-market was 160. So there's definitely some range there. A little bit more size at 140 PRZO. Let's see how that goes. Good volume here. 140 getting hit. Big pull there. We'll see if this comes back. Big volume here on PRZO. Let's see where we go. Wow, nasty pull. If it breaks this is going to be a stop out. We're going to start 0 for 1. Might even add down here, actually. Yeah, add it a little bit here. See if we get a bounce. If we break beneath this, what do I have in the Bollinger Band here? 123. A break beneath 124, we're going to cut this. We'll see how it goes. DCTH, there is no way I am trading that after the last 2 days. 0% chance. I'm not even going to bring that up on my screen. You're going to have to wait for Mitch. NNOX you're looking at? It's not on my list, but let me bring it up. It is moving here. We're above the upper range of the band in the Bollinger Band, so careful with that. HE halted to upside? HE, here we go on HE. Let's see. See what happens when this comes out of the halt. Oh, Pinterest at the highs. See if Ahi comes back. Oops. Okay, Ahi really needs to come back over that 496 level. I got VWAP at 504, just above 5. Actually, Wiss or any of you golfers out there, I was told about a new stock yesterday, SCPG. What was it called? Here it is. It just got halted. This is Sax Parente Golf. So it looks like this is halted to the upside here. We'll see if this goes. This is, I guess, from what I understand, a luxury golf company. They have got putters that are comparable to Bettinardi's. So this is an interesting one. This was actually brought up yesterday by Thomas from the Happy Hour group. I had never heard of it. So interesting. It's a joke, DND. SPCG joke. I don't know anything about these products, but I'd like to hear some more about that. Would like to hear more about that. Only 4 models, no sales. Okay, so you don't like it for a trade. This is probably nothing there. It might just be kind of like a pump job. I've actually never seen the putters in person or any of their products anywhere. So good stuff. Like I said, I had never heard of this until this got brought up yesterday, but yeah, you guys are talking about this, the IPO day, complete round trip. But maybe now that that's out of the way, we can actually just have some legitimate price discovery as opposed to that crazy stuff where it runs from 4 to 30 or whatever it is. You said Ahi is trying smoke tuna. Let's take a look. Yep, Ahi through that VWAP and through the middle of the Bollinger Band there that we just talked about. Ahi looking pretty good here. Good call. Market rolling over here. Market at lows. Ahi, good push here. Nice find, Tuna. You really been on, man. Great job here on Ahi. Approaching the upper boundary of that Bollinger Band. So given the way trading has been going for me, I'd be taking it off right there, or at least part of it. Ahi, great move here. Great call, Smoke Tuna. All right. And look at that. So Ahi pushed up to the top end of the Bollinger Band, broke it by like a couple of pennies, and immediately rejected. Pull back to VWAP. Now we're breaking below VWAP. Got to be quick with some of these day trades. Got to be quick with some of these. I'm about to get stopped out. HE is open. HE, big pull here. Careful. HE, another pull. Not in that, by the way. HE still. Oh, let's see. HE is all over the place. That's tough to trade. Here, let me put it back up on the screen here. All right, stopped out of PRZO, so things not turning around yet. Another loss there.
All right,
Man, oh
guys.
man.
Sorry, a little late there. Was trying to help out a friend there. Dog situation. I'll talk a little bit about it a little later. But Q's coming down here a little bit to start the day. Let's see what happens. Will we get a 9:45 turnaround? Of course, my biggest thing is to watch Microsoft. Microsoft went green to red, and so that's what I'm going to be watching to see if it recovers right now, and to see what sectors are leading to the upside today. Energy is the big move up here, and you're getting a nice little push back out on XOM from the 108 area. This isn't too bad. I like how I came back to 106. That's kind of the area that I was looking for a nice little bounce, and now we're already getting that bounce. So I say you can honestly start looking to see energy today as being a good play. Just take a look to see what happens on Gush here. Let me take a look.
HE.
It's up to 157. I'd be looking for a little pullback to VWAP. We'll see what happens in Gush.
All right, sorry about that. Scalped HE, didn't really want to interrupt Mitch as he was going off there, but HE,
Hey.
big move right through 11 there. I'm sorry I wasted so much time with PRZO.
That's good.
Man.
You just scalped that up there. There you go.
Yep.
I can't even. I haven't been trying to pay attention with that HE trade at all. I just don't even need to be a part of that.
HE halting. Oh, nope. They couldn't hold it at 1144, going higher here now.
All right, looking at IonQ go down big today, man. That was one that I was calling out earlier in the week that I thought was going to break down. IonQ, nice move to 1333s. I put this out that this could easily break down as you're starting to see the momentums break and momentum names break. I could see this coming right back down below 10. It's at 1336. It's getting hit today, and it's looking pretty weak there on IonQ. And with that being said, I'd be careful with kind of the growth names like Affirm, Carvana, names like that could come easily back down and keep crashing. Like Upstart, that thing's not slowing down in one bit. It's down to 31s, could go lower. Basic Materials is up today. BTU is definitely one of the ones on my watch today. It's pulling back right now. Doesn't look too bad to take a shot on this one. I'm going to take a swing trade in BTU today. So I'm going to get it started right now at 22.44s. Looking for this to pull back maybe to the 90 MA around the 22.35 area. I'll add. Looking for a move above 22.60s. AMR has been going strong. I see the whole industry green today. See the whole sector green overall. That's a good outlook there. Silver is the only thing in the red. Basic Materials. And building materials is in the red too. So sorry, there was two that are in the red from the open. But overall, pretty good action there in basic materials.
HE halted to the upside, and TRKA looking like this is trying to take the top off here on TRKA.
Guten Morgen. I saw some German in there earlier. Mitch, you still play Xbox? Nah, man. Becca, I think I stopped playing Xbox like at least I would say about 7 years ago.
7 years? Wow, that's a while ago.
Yeah, man. I still have one. I think I have not the 360, the one after that one, but I think it's the Xbox One or something. I don't even remember, man. I don't play video games anymore.
They just brought in a bid on TRKA at 135.
The closest thing to video games that I've done as of late was when I was checking out like the metaverse places like Sands, that game, and
TRKA.
There you go. You're getting some pop there.
Yep. Long this at 126.
Qs are just pulling back, man. Financial services red here. Industrials are not looking too bad. Those are pulling back there. Deer's back at 420, man. I'm starting to get antsy about taking a shot in Deer.
They report earnings tomorrow morning, I believe. Check with
That's
Nick.
the hard part, man. That's the hard part.
All right, taking TRKA off here. So with the 2 day trades that I made on HE and TRKA, I was able to make back the disaster from PRZO. So started out 0 for 1, but clawed all of those funds back. So
yes, they report earnings
we got
tomorrow
that
before the
going.
bell.
Nice, nice. And Ron bringing up Target here in the chat. And I'm with you on this a little bit, Ron. I'm feeling Target might get the lift, especially nice reports in discount stores. Walmart is still red right now. Let's see if it goes green, because I'm going to keep my eye on that. It looks like it wants to. It pulled back in the pre-market, and that might have been an opportunity here. It's back to 161. Let's see if it gets back there and takes 161, really starts pushing to the upside. And that could actually start pushing some other stocks here. Look at Ollie's with a nice little push here. That doesn't look too bad. This has been holding the 9 EMA. I talk about the 9 EMA all the time. Someone just asked me a little while ago, about the 9 EMA. And I think the 9 EMA and the SMA, the big difference, guys, is the EMAs stay closer to the price action. So the SMAs have a tendency to be what? Smoother. So they don't like have, like, you see how like the band kind of like ticks up, down, up, down, up, down. But watch when I scoop back to the 200 day. You see how this is like smooth. There's no like real choppy action. That's the true difference between an EMA and an SMA. So there's very smooth action. It's going to take a lot more bullish or bearish price action to move the 200 and the 50 day SMAs versus the 9 EMA, which is just going to like kind of, it's like a little pencil. It goes up and down, but it's still following the price action. Remember BJ, I was looking for that gap fill, guys. I drew this box here on July 5th, updated it on July 20th. It took almost a month to fill the gap, but did it fill the gap? It did. I just couldn't play it the whole time here. I've gotten a gain in BJ, but man, look at that. It finally made it to the 70 move. Costco is one that I'm keeping an eye on today. If Walmart goes red, Costco could go red too. So a little part of me is keeping an eye on this area, because if it does go red today, I could play Costco down. And if Walmart goes up and continues to lift, well, then maybe I could play Target to the upside. There's ways to play it today. We'll see what happens. All right, DG. We'll see if that gets into the green. We'll see if Walmart continues there. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon had some news, of course, with that CVS news. It's pulling back on this news. We'll see if it gets to lift a little bit later today. How's Apple? Did it go through that 177 area, that daily level? Yes, it did. That's not looking good, guys. As it starts to break that daily level that was holding so well, this is where you really got to start being careful. That looks like a little bit more downside there in Apple. We'll look to see if it flips today, but not looking good here at all. Microsoft, not looking good at all either. We could see some more leak here. NVIDIA is the one that is interesting also. That just made a little pop up above VWAP. But as long as it stays below 440 right now, I wouldn't be too concerned about that squeezing too much. But definitely big support below it around the 435.80s level. If it cuts that, maybe we can get to the 430s. How's Success? Success just pulled back to 1105. That doesn't actually look too bad there on Success today. Success looking strong here. All right, looking at BTU, starting to pull back a little bit there. It came back right around that 436. I didn't add there because I was just going to give it some time here. I wanted to make one more pullback towards like the 38s and then recover VWAP through the 2250s. And then I'm going to take a decent size add on this BTU based on the daily. The big thing for me is if it could come back to 24s, it will be looking really good. Coal's been hot as of late. Energy hot today. I want to try to play some coal now. I played some energy before on some oil names. Now I'm trying to play the black gold and coal. Santa's coming to town, baby. He's bringing coal with him. Don't worry, Nick. You're getting the good stuff.
Thanks.
I got you, my friend. I got the in with Santa.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. No, actually, I love winter and Christmas, and that's
I'm going down to New York for winter to go see the Christmas tree in front of the stock exchange.
My favorite time of the year.
We should go out there, man. We should go out there. Yeah, Ryan, it's always great, man.
Favorite time of the year.
Some people hate snow. Some people love it. I have a tendency to lean on the love.
Yep.
I love snow. You know why?
Why?
Remote learning equals me on this show.
Hell yeah.
That's
what I love to hear.
Let's go, Nick. Always looking for the positives.
Is that what schools do now? Like, do they just go remote when like they need to cancel school because of snow?
Yes. There's no more snow days because of virtual learning in Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams.
Wow, that's crazy, Nick. That's crazy, man. I'm sure some kids get pissed about that, though.
I was going to say, you remember just the absolute sheer joy when there would be announced that there was a snow day. When I was a kid, there was one winter where the snow was so crazy that they like canceled multiple days in a row, and I ended up having like a 5-day weekend. The amount of video games I played those days, oh my god! And now you can't do that anymore. HE might have stalled here, by the way. Let's wait for this to firm up.
Ooh, this looks interesting for me. This looks like a nice, interesting swing. HCC is looking interesting. I'm looking at a lot of coal plays right now, and I'm just looking at charts. And so I like how this is pulled back to these levels before, and it could close a gap. Gap fills have been great as of late. So I'm looking for any kind of gap fills. The gap fills have been pretty good in this market. Let's see if we get this gap filled. So you have to be careful, right? You got to know where the support is also. In this case, it's down towards like 38. You need to get back above this level. Start pushing into the green first. Instead of jumping right now, I'm going to look at 41 to get in and then risk off of 40 when it wants to make the breakout move into that gap. So I'm just drawing this up. This is HCC Warrior Met Coal. And of course, I'm looking for some coal action.
HE higher now? Wow.
I can't play that play, but I could see it being a squeeze.
I mean, it's all over the place. It's all over the place.
I like the 5 minute. It's keeping a nice little 5-minute trend right now. So you see the kind of the 5 minute just kind of just V bottom there. And let's look at the bottoming actions, right? How long did it take for it to bounce? And you guys tell me if you guys see it like I see it here. So I see this bottoming action, right? And I'm just looking for moments where the stock just kind of makes moves to the downside. This bottoming action, right here. 3. And then what do we look for, guys? Nick, what do we do on the rule of 3? See if Nick is starting to understand and listen too much.
No, I don't remember.
Ooh, I'm testing him. This is school, baby.
This is school. That's the last thing he needs.
Yeah.
So then there's the 4th action, and then I look for reversal action out of it. That's what you're getting right now. Now you're right back to that level. So the first move was to like 12 here. It made perfect sense for it to come right back towards 12. Now it's, can you get it above 12 with some heightened volume? That's going to be more of that play where you're just squeezing out of this. You can do it on the hourly too. Like now you're looking at hourly trends and you're drawing kind of a downward line to see if you can break out of that. You see that kind of lines right above here towards the 15s, the 13 break. Let's see if we can get through the 12, get back through the 13. If you're back through 13, you're squeezing out of the recent downtrend. It's not the worst looking stock there. BTU want to pull back a little more. I'll add to you. All right, let's go to the SPY here. SPY starting to come upwards. Q starting to bounce a little bit. I'm going to keep my eye on like the Microsoft, right? And NVIDIA. NVIDIA starts ripping through 440s. That's where I really be careful. That could really kind of push higher. I'm only in BTU, at least for right now, but I'm looking for some plays here. It's definitely 10 o'clock. It's time to take some action. It's Time to get into the zone. Let's go, team. Hit the like Jan says. Appreciate you. Let's go, guys. See what we can do. So I've been waiting to see some kind of like real trend move because this has been kind of a small leak down. I didn't really necessarily wanted to play the small leak down. You guys heard at the open, right? I was looking for maybe if it was going to come on the upside action today. And it's kind of weird, right? Because lately we've been getting a little bit of some mixed markets where like the other day it was going like the market was going up and then I had everything kind of a little bit down for a little bit. Now energy kind of leading here, utilities, basic materials. What's on the downside? Technology, consumer cyclicals, and financials. Of course, financials is the area where like I'm seeing things just get hit again. They jump up a little bit this morning and then JPM back down. Bank of America down. The KRE goes lower. And this is definitely concerning, guys. I don't think anybody's pointing this out as much as I have been on this head and shoulders for the KRE. And I think that sooner or later, you're going to start seeing what? Banks in turmoil. It's going down. The banks. And when do they usually tell you? They tell you about, I don't know, tendency like 3 or 4 days after you hear about it here on Benzinga. But definitely.
We having a special tonight? Banks going down tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time?
You know it, Nick Brown. We might have to, man, because I think this is something that a lot of people are not drawing the concern. And I've talked about it. I talked about it on Start Swing Trade yesterday. Will the S&P global rating come out with a downgrade also? Some people are not mentioning this. And I think that this is the next hit that comes in this space. Of course, I'm speculating, but hey, you guys tell me what you guys think about that speculation. And I think that's what could really break the AI bubble. I was talking about that on Start Swing Trade yesterday. Like, if there's something that could break the bubble, yeah, it's bank concerns. XOM continuing to lift there. That looks strong there. Oxy, ooh, on the pullback here, actually looked pretty decent there. Ooh. All right. Let's have ourselves a little bit of fun. All right, I'm taking a little day trade action here on Oxy. Got there 63.77 long. Going to take it off the VWAP bounce action here on the 5-minute. Don't want it to necessarily break through this 62. And so it's about what, 12 cents risk, 15 cent risk. And so I'm looking for the move back through 64. Going to sell half at 64 and then the rest at the 64.15, kind of break towards 64.20s. Let's see if we can get this really quick push. This is a nice little pattern off of VWAP. And so I'm breaking down the trade and the strategy. It's off of VWAP. That's that orange line that you see here. And then look how the light blue line is right below it. That tells me more and more that the price action pullback was kind of very measured. And I'm just using support to try to attack this play. Why semi-stocks are down? Wolf, poor earnings. I don't think that's why semis are down necessarily, but Wolf's earnings were horrible. Yes, I agree. There's nothing wrong with thinking that that's definitely adding to the downside action. Merck starting to climb. I can take a look at some healthcare. I still see healthcare in the red. I'm just trying to keep my eye on Oxy here. Let's go to the 3 charts.
Ahi, watch that 525 spot on Ahi.
Ahi.
Yeah, there's some size there. It's wicking to the top, but it looks like it wants to push through here.
Yeah, I like the...
There it goes. There goes 525.
I like the pullback there on the 510s.
Yeah, me too.
How it just held right there.
I like it after it pulls back, Mitch. That's a really good point.
Yeah, like
because it's less likely to yank again. It's not to say that it can't happen. It's just simply less likely. If it's already tried to shake out some of those weak hands, it's liable to make the next up move there. Ahi pulling back here now.
And you guys know me on trend lines and stuff like that, how I always look for what's called the throwback look, right? And so now you can look for throwback looks towards that trend line. And so people look for that all the time. So a move above trend line and then a move back to that trend line. And then you want to see the expansion go above, not close below it. And that's what you're getting right now. You're kind of getting that little push here, the little stair step off. And I'm sure people bought up that first little pullback. Now you're getting an expansion move up, a little pull back, and you're looking for kind of just it to just stay off of that trend line and really make that expansion move back towards what? The next resistance. Where's the next resistance? First spot here I see is 528s, 530s. And then from there, it's 538s. We'll see if Ahi does make that move. And look at the MACD on this. Look how you can be using the MACD, right? MACD is a pretty interesting indicator here. This is the bottom one right here. This is the moving average convergence divergence. So if I played it on this is now I'm going more off of a 5-minute. And there's the move to 530 already. We just got it there, guys. It was as quick as day. Boom.
Ahi trying to push more now.
Right there towards the 530s. Now I'd be looking to see if some sellers step in here at 530s, big sellers there at 530s, and then looking for this to hold what? Higher lows. Now you want to see a pattern start to exist where if I see higher lows, the momentum starting to climb, and you see the light blue line there, that's the EMA, the 9 EMA, and that actually works with the moving average convergence. So you see down here, that's going to be the moving average. And you want to see that light blue line getting closer towards the up action and continuing above 0 now. We'll see what happens there on that Ahi. Let's go back to my Oxy
looks
trade.
like it does.
Interesting here.
Ahi looks like it wants to go higher, but that's not necessarily a guarantee. We are at the top end of that Bollinger Band, so be careful. Here we go on Ahi. Let's see.
I liked it there. It looked pretty decent on the 1, and then I looked at the 5, and it looked even better. The 5 on Ahi looked interesting there. You can see it on the 5 how the MACD has just started to come above here, and it's done a couple of runs already, and then have pulled back and reloaded. Now the MACD just crossed over there when it crossed 5. It did a move above 5, came back below 5, now has reclaimed 5. As long on the 5 minutes, it's holding $5. It's still looking pretty decent right now. Going back to Oxy, I got to pay attention to that one because that's my day trade right now.
Sure.
I'm trying to see this. We get back above 64. It's just been slowly grinding up, and that's why I haven't been really talking too much about this because just literally I'm at 77. It's at 88. It's just been like kind of just moving between here. I really want to see it kind of hold VWAP now, not make an attempt back towards 63.70s. I would like to hold 63.76 and then make a push to 64. That's where I can sell my first half and then look to the move up. So looking for a move up towards this trend line. I'll make it thicker so you guys can see it. All right, we'll see what happens there. And there's definitely some support playing in right on this spot here, the 63.63s. And so it could come back to that spot. We'll see what happens. Palantir and U weak. Yeah, those are some growth names. And so those have a tendency of being weak when the market's down like this right now. And especially that means ARKK probably down a decent amount. So those are looking pretty weak right now. BTU starting to come right back up. Now I'm going to be willing to take a little bit more shot in a little bit here. I'm looking for the 5-minute cross back to the upside. And so I still haven't seen that here on the MACD. I want to show you guys what a cross looks like to use it as a confirmation signal. So I already have a position in BTU. I want confirmation on another cross. So that dark blue line cross that light blue line back to the upside. And then as I see that with the price action going up, I can go ahead and maybe add to my position as a conviction move as I'm starting to see indicators match the trade, right? We'll see what happens. I'm trying to do a little bit more teaching for you guys today. What you seeing, my friend?
AHI, big pull after it set those new highs. Looks like it is trying to go.
Got a little spike into the 63.90s there for Oxy. As it gets to 63.97s, I'll probably sell a little bit there and then look to hold the rest.
Turka, TRKA. What's the name of the company? Troika. Going higher here. This one, I scalped this early, but this one's still moving higher, looking interesting. I would really like Ahi here. It looks a little heavy. I would really like this to kind of pull back to the VWAP.
You know what's an interesting one that Kathy's been adding to ARC? Let's see if Nick has this. I don't think he. I like to test Nick because we're such news guys that we catch so much stuff that it's fun. And how do I know all this, guys? Of course, Benzinga Pro. But Nick,
TRKA.
what has Kathy been adding? What did she add yesterday? And what she sell? Oh, the test is on.
You know, I do get her weekly, or I do get her daily emails each night. I am subscribed to the ARC portfolio. So, but I didn't look at the list last night just because I was out and about. But I don't. I look at it every night. But I'll be honest, didn't look at it last night. But she is optimistically bullish.
Hang on a second.
Oh, she's always. Let's just say that much. She's always. Look here, I'm going to put it up in a ticker at the bottom here, and I'll read it to you guys. So ARK Invest also made a notable decision to sell Shopify. She sold Shopify. She was buying a lot of the aircraft one, the Archer. So she was buying Archer, and she was buying RXRX. That's what I wanted to point out here, because I know how you guys like that cheaper name, RXRX. So keep your eyes on that one. Oxy selling my first half there, guys. It just hit there on the profits. I had the order out there at 97. Boom, just hit that. So Oxy day trade going well here. Now it just hit my first profit. I have half left. Now I'm going to look to ride it from 77 up there towards 64.15 and 64.20s. Let's see if I can get that move in Oxy. Nice little VWAP bounce trade here. We'll see if it can keep going now. Now I'd want it to hold VWAP. And VWAP is what? 63.77, right where my entry is. So this is where I have like that position of strength, right? And now what do I want to see more of? I want to see the cross. Look how the cross is trying to cross here, but hasn't really expanded back up. I want to see that get that cross on the 5 minute. I don't want this to get tighter. I want it to expand away. So you're seeing that dark blue line go up and the light blue line kind of follow the price action. We'll see if that can make that move. And of course, pullbacks to 77 is okay. I just wouldn't want it to break 63.70 now. I could get out break even on 77s, but since I have some profits, I'll risk to 63.70s and I'll still leave it a gain if I need to get out.
I was going to say, Mitch, your questions are always, because we consume so much news, it is so hard to keep track of everything. I try to keep track of it in a notebook right quickly, but it just doesn't work. I mean, I have papers here that I keep notes on. But we're getting some comments from Fitch now. They're saying that inflation and interest rates remain most significant watch item for global credit. They say core inflation remains sticky and well above central bank targets, despite headline disinflation gaining pace in U.S. and Eurozone in Q2 23. We're going to have to watch the banks, as you say. We're going to have to watch anything that's going to get a credit rating, because we're waiting for S&P Global. We're waiting for Moody's. We got the Fitch warning earlier this week. So watch banks particularly, and watch other industries that could be affected by any downgrade from any banks. PacWest, you alluded to, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. Just watch the banks particularly this week and in the months to come.
All right, guys. I am layering short here in Costco, above 558s, and then layering it a little bit higher towards 558.50s. So that way I can get in on a name like this. And of course I play Costco pretty small on swing trades because it's a $500 stock, right? Yeah. So I got to be very careful with it. But I am starting to just layer it by share above towards 558 right now. I don't want to jump on the bid right now and just try to take 556.50s. It could just wipe out from here. But if it comes back the tiniest amount, I just want it to fill there and then just completely dump. We'll see what happens. I like this play to the downside now. Walmart going down. Chat helped me out with that. And you do see Walmart starting to crack. Costco's been a pretty nice move on the daily. I could see this starting to break and maybe make a move to 545. Am I saying that Costco's, just a horrible stock. No, I'm just trying to make money, guys. I could see it coming at least to this 552 support. If it breaks that, I could see it going back to the 50 moving average. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see what else is going on in the market. Q's another down action there. Keeping an eye on Oxy. The pullback there is a little more than I wanted to see, but as long as it can hold that 77 on pullback on VWAP, then come right back up through that trend line, it'll still be looking pretty good. But the Qs are still getting smacked, guys. So just be careful out there, guys, with the tech trade. I'm sure you're seeing Microsoft right back down. Yeah, you see that? Apple gave up that move. Ooh, Apple is leaking, guys. If you want to know what probably is dragging the market, it's Apple. Man, that's a little leak.
Amazon
there.
too, Mitch.
Yeah. When the big boys leak, man, that's what drags the market, guys. It's those smaller plays like Wolf that really isn't going to drag the market. But when you have the ETF effects of the big boys just dragging the market, like Tesla down another leg today too, I mean, this is going to affect the market real quick, guys. Google was strong too, and let's see if that goes red. Because if Google can't stay, oh man, then things are really starting to leak. Look at this daily chart on Google. It's actually pretty, holding pretty. If it breaks down, I'm not going to be feeling too good about the market, man. This is like kind of the last savior right now out of the big boys. Hungry Feast today. All right, let's see what else is going on. BTU. What's up, BTU? You gonna make the move yet? Go. Oxy. Let's go. Take out that 64. Playing the oil plays, playing the energy. Of course, what am I doing? I'm just trying to stick with the rotation today, guys. Energy is leading. If energy is going to lead, guess what? I might want to be in energy today. So that's what I've been trying to do more of in my day trading game, especially, is just trying to be in the right industry on the day. If that industry is making good moves, try to find a stock that's in that industry that I can trade. Doesn't seem too bad of a strategy, right? Ahi mentioned in the chat. Ahi still holding well there, man. That's still holding well. It's stair-stepping.
Yeah, I'm not in Ahi right now.
Tuna. Trying to get that Ahi. I see you. Let's see if it takes this 550. Dun. Let's see the sellers at that 538. Does it show up? Does it get smacked there? 535s showing up there, starting to slow down a little bit. You see there's a seller there on Ahi. Look, these algos, man, I can read them like a book. They're at the 46, the 48s, and the 50. And they're sitting there. The 48 now looking like they just pulled off the 46. So they're at 48s and 50 here. Let's see if they can take it out. They're just sitting right above here. There's 40 trying to battle through. The 38 area is definitely, I think, has a little resistance right now. Let's see if it reloads and just goes right through that 50. About 6,900 shares there. 6,928 on ARCA. See if they take it out there. There he goes. There's 40s. There's 42s. Does it want to get through the 50s now? I look for it to be quick through there. It's the 48. It's about to hit there. It's 3,600 shares there. Boom. Taking some of it off the 45s. I saw him change it to the 45s there. It moved it from the 45, from the 46 to 45s. Now there's some levels lining up there. Trying to reload at 530s here. There's a bid at 528s.
As far as Ahi goes here, Mitch, if it's like for people like me who are not in Ahi, what I would be waiting for here is a pull, because clearly it has strength. We're outlining all of the different moves to the upside here. As this pulls back and starts to shake out some of those weekends, I think it's going for this 550 here, though.
Yeah, I could see that, like, the algos are playing with it right now.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I
on
mean.
both sides.
That's why I want to wait for a pullback, Mitch, because I want those people to be shaken out so that I can buy it at a lower price and then sell it when it rebounds. 550 up here.
They moved it. So remember that big order at 550? They moved it to 563. So that gives it the freedom here to go to the 550s.
They're refilling the seller at 550. There it goes. He's gone. You said it was, what was the second spot there, Mitch?
563.
Okay, thank you.
7,163 shares.
Here's your pull. Here's your pull.
There's your pull to the 30s, right? Where the reload volume is.
I was hoping it would go towards the VWAP. We didn't go that far, but we
stayed on the resistance. Stayed on the 5-minute resistance of 530s, 525s. And so in that space, there's definitely some resistance, right? It's trying to act as support now.
By the way, I want to point out what Smoke Tuna is doing here. Paying himself on the way up. This is exactly how I want you folks to trade these stocks, right? Be sure when it makes these moves that you unload some of your stock so that you can book some of those gains. That way, if you see a pull like this, your emotions aren't being toyed with as much. And it's easier to trade this way. So Smoke Tuna, great job as always, managing this winning trade.
Yeah. It's interesting when you watch the tape on these. And I think for newer traders that want to get to the point where they trade these, I think it's very important to learn to just watch the tape on a lot of these moves, just to learn. Write down notes. What did I see happen? Like, talk to yourself, record yourself. Is another good tip, right? Is listen to yourself over and over. This is going to help you. If you really want to be a master at these trades, you have to put in a lot of work, guys. A lot.
Reading the tape is not easy. I still learn stuff. I've been doing this since I started, and I still learn stuff.
Oxy's just stair-stepping, guys. I want this to make the move already, guys. It's one of those moves that I'm just like starting to get antsy. But it went to 64 again here and now pulling back. So I'm looking for the expansion move above 64 to 64.20s. And it doesn't look too bad here on Oxy, but you can see it got there to 64 and then 64.03s and then boom, right back to 63.90s. So definitely not going to let it go through the VWAP again and break even. So at this point, I can set a break even stop, and it's either going to be a really good trade on the day trade or just stop me out, break even. I will take the small half gain that I already have. Sometimes, especially on day trades, I'm getting more and more to the point where I just get like this nice little half position profit, and then I just hold break even on the rest. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. This way I can start working more and more on being higher accurate on my day trading, because that's one thing I noticed. For the swing trading, I can do really good being even 40 to 50% accurate. On day trading, I need to push that accuracy. I want to try to get it to more 60 to 70% so that I can stay in the green, baby. Brad says, let's start from the top. What's a tape?
Oh, Raz.
It's good. It's good to have you, man. It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to have you. I don't know if you're trolling. I don't know if you're serious, but I think it's funny.
It's fun. It's fun. And the truth is, there are beginners out there that are probably like, yeah, what is a tape, right? It's true. I mean, I can't blame you. This is
it's like an 8-track, says Jonathan. Oh gosh, you guys are
This
the best.
is the tape. This is the time and sales. Everything that's going through on Ahi.
Did you just buzz the tower, Cleo?
Look at all that order flow on
What are
Ahi.
you doing? I should have named Cleo Maverick. He buzzes my head all the time. Yeah, I see you.
See what happens here, guys. And there's a lot of data out there, guys, and a lot of things that are important. This is what the algos watch, man. The active buy, the volume profile. You know, it's very important to see this. And then, of course, looking at the level twos, right?
Kaylee's had enough, guys. Pack of boomers. Nick's like, what did I do? Oh God, that's funny. Ahi coming back in now. Let's see if we can get it to come back to the VWAP. Got VWAP at 517, 516. That would be your possible bounce spot.
Yeah, I want to start using Bookmap a little bit more. I'm going to actually start learning more and more about Bookmap, bringing you guys that information. That's a pretty cool service.
I've looked at it, but I've not yet figured out how to make it effective. Like, meaning that, and all I mean by that is that I don't think I have enough personal practice with it.
All right, so there was this like volume jump here at 1019. I want that person to get taken out on the high there. That was the 6401. I think there was a little bit of a selling going on there at the 64. So now that it's been up there a couple times, it's been up there once, twice, 3 times. I wanted to take it out right now on Oxy, because if it comes back to this VWAP, I'm probably just going to get out of the trade. It'll stop me out, break even. So we'll see. Right now, I'm like kind of on that. It should get that lift right here through 64. We'll see if it actually happens. That's my trading, of course. You guys choose your own outlook.
And as Mitch always says, take my outlook with a grain of salt.
You know it, Nick. Put it on there. Put the salt on there. So, Nick, how about you tell us about your winnings? What did you do? You gonna tell people about that?
Well, we can. You know, it's always great to get out with family and go play bingo. And so I did win last night, about $600 in total.
Let's go, Nick.
My boy. Give him the cash register on that, Ryan. Give him the cash register.
Okay, so the first time I almost missed the bingo, Ryan and Mitch, because I was waiting so many ways and on one card, and when I hit it, I got the number. It didn't occur to me. So my aunt who's sitting across the table yelled for me, and she saw it right away. Me, I'm just sitting there, how did I win? The second time I won with somebody and I split, and then for the jackpot, there's a $1,000 must go jackpot. I did split it with somebody. I got it right away in like 40, maybe 50 some numbers. So it was a good night overall. I normally don't go out to play bingo that much during school. So I got rewarded for an end of the year bingo trip, I think.
You are, my friend, you're a winner. You're a winner.
And they showed me the money.
And they showed me the money. Well, that's good.
Of course, shout out to Bob Barker. All right, let's see if we get that 64 break. You guys see me drew this green line. What is that green line for? Well, that I'm looking to see if we get a volume pump on this 64 break, right? So I want to see volume come into it as we go for the 64 break for a nice little conviction move higher. And I could see oils continuing higher, XOM back to 109. Honestly, this is a good move there for oil overall. I think you're going to really start seeing some oil stocks just lift, like Chevron. Look at that move today off the VWAP. We talked about a VWAP play on Oxy. Look at this VWAP play. 160 23s, it goes to 160 18s. Maybe you took 6 cents on the downside there, and it's right back up through the resistance and pushing higher. There's been a lot of really strong stocks in oil, and that's why I wanted to be in that industry today. You're seeing Valero go higher, continue the trend. This doesn't look too bad. MPC has been a big mover as of late, and that's even continuing the trend, pulling back a little bit, but there you guys have it. Next move up higher. XLE is a way that we've been talking about this also on Start Swing Trade. And now you're starting to see this go even higher. This doesn't look bad at all. Energy going higher wouldn't be good, though, for the market. That could be inflation coming back, right? We'll see what happens. And not an amazing outlook there in the long term if this continues to climb. But overall, I'll tell you one thing. I've been trading oil a lot better, and I want to continue trying to trade these names. So not a bad move to get that upside move. And then now what do? You kind of held that pullback look, right? And so it didn't go back into that bearish pattern that was here. And now you're starting to push above it. So it looks pretty good.
HE potential bounce here as it pulled back to the what is this? I don't have the VWAP here yet. This is the Bollinger Band. Looks like it's tightening up here. Nice little pullback here. Might bounce here on HE.
Do lows on AMD. Yeah, it just doesn't look like a tech day, guys. Looks like Stocks S was a really nice play the other day when we were looking at it to be 1050s. But man, this has been lifting all day long. Stocks S taking another leg higher. Microsoft, will it make another leg lower? Oof. Apple down to 174. Amazon, Amazon leaking a little bit there. It's not looking good, guys. Yeah, tech names are getting wrecked here. It just doesn't look good. Look at the XLK if you guys also just want to take a look at a sector industry, and this is not looking good, guys. This is looking like it wants to continue to leak. And I remember I talked about how would we make a move back towards the 9 EMA. We're making an expansion away from the 9 EMA. That's a bad outlook. That's a bearish outlook and not looking good right now. Microsoft, man. The only thing that I could say on Microsoft is that at least the average true range is coming down. So it's moving less and less on these moves down. It's not expansion moves. But if we get another big candle on Microsoft down, that's when we really got to be careful. And this thing just doesn't seem like it wants to come back. NVIDIA actually looks like a potential short for me now because it hasn't done crap all day. But you would have to be so tight. You would have to be really, really tight. Like where you set probably the stop and everything. You're like, take me out if you need to. But we'll see what happens because it hasn't gone nowhere today. It's been just holding here. So either it's building up a lot of buy volume, or I think by now it should have cracked, right? So we'll see. I'm not going to take this one, though. It's too high risk. I'm trying my best to just always be smart, guys. We don't have to take trades, even though they look good. Nice mention here by Ron.
We talked about that yesterday, Mitch. We talked about that yesterday on Swing Trade regarding NVIDIA when they report next week. We have AI on the crisp. Remember, what was it last quarter? Didn't they like raise guidance significantly on the call that it spiked the stock significantly higher?
Yeah.
But they never showed you the money for AI. They never told you how much AI is going to be contributing to revenue.
Tons of companies doing that, right? I mean, I think that's what we need to hear, guys. That's the only thing that's going to change the AI bubble coming back is actually hearing a company really kick ass. And then you want to hear other companies start to better their revenue outlooks. I haven't been seeing too good outlooks on revenues. Here's that 64s, guys. We've been just battling here on Oxy. It doesn't want to go down, though. So as long as it doesn't want to go down, I'm staying in it, trying to get that 64 break to the upside. Just need just a little bit more so that I can break that and then go ahead and take the profits. I could leave a little runner on Oxy if I wanted to here for like the swing, but that's if I'm really feeling it. I would need to look at WTI. That's always my determinant, right? I'm always looking at the front month to see what's going on there. We're making a move back towards the 82s. We're in the 80s. We need to continue to stay in the 80s from here on out.
Oh my goodness. HE. I'm sorry, Mitch. HE, huge. So this was interesting. It pushed up here, trying to take the highs, immediate pullback. Look at where it was in respect to the Bollinger Band. Then a huge move on increased volume, set a new high. Wouldn't be surprised if we pulled back here. I actually caught this move. So got a couple $100 yanked out of HE here. So this has been a good trader here today.
I want to take that
really
trade,
nice move. Yep.
I'm going to stay out of it.
Really nice move there.
Yeah. It's a good one. That's for sure. Ion Q. We'll take another leg lower, man. I should have shorted the crap out of this stock. Mitch, you got to sometimes take those. Sometimes it's got to do it. Just got to short them.
Oh.
Short them back down.
Including tomorrow. I only have 3 shows left of live trading. Oh, my. I don't even want to.
No, you'll be
tears.
back. You'll be back. You'll be back. Come on now.
I know.
What about
TRKA curling back up, by the way. Watch TRKA on a possible move through 158 here. 158 clearly the spot.
Okay.
Is that the Donkey Kong music?
Yes.
Yeah,
that is.
man.
I know, man. I recognize that.
Oh, I love it.
Dude, Mitch, I can't tell you, like, back when I was a kid, some of the best memories I have of being a kid are Friday nights after school. My family would go to Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster? That's how old I am.
Oh, Blockbuster.
Where's Kaylee out there? Where's Kaylee out there calling us a bunch
I
of
used to
boomers?
love Blockbuster
So we would go
every
to
Friday.
Blockbuster, rent a video game, rent a movie, and I'd play video games. And then it would be cold, it would be fall. Then on Sunday there was football. I mean, it was the best time. It was such, and that music will always be a part of it. Always.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the good old times at the video store. You had to look behind to see if they actually had the game, you know?
Yeah.
Because they would just have the cover on and you would be like, oh, damn it, they don't have the actual game. And then you would be that guy that would take the cover to the front and be like, you sure you don't have it?
Can you look? Can you check?
Can you look? Can you just check? I was that guy, Ryan. I was just like, come on, man. Natalie said,
hey, Kaylee, all right. Hey,
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster was a good time. All right.
It was a good time.
Oh, man. You know what
then-
else I used to do at Blockbuster is when I would come in, I would look at where the employees would take stuff out of the drop box. So if someone just returned a video game, they'd put it up there and I'd be like, oh, let's see what we got here. Oh, you have the thing I was looking for. Let's go.
Gush on the VWAP right now. Thinking about maybe even playing the Gush. Gushers.
There's another blast from the past, Gushers.
Oh,
I gotta go to the washroom. I'll be right back.
The video store was definitely good, man. It was a good time. I used to go to Hollywood Video too.
No, I don't do anything after school on Friday nights. Well, no, that's not true. We tend to do stuff on the weekends, my friends and I.
Yeah, I used to be a big pizza guy on Friday, get a movie. But
Time Friday comes, I'm ready for bed at like 8 o'clock.
all right, we'll see what's going on in the Oxy trade. Can I get that lift through 64? I'm looking also to maybe play a little Gush, but I'll just leave that to
Warren's
the
an
side.
Oxy. Warren Buffett's an Oxy.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing it, man. A little Warren love. Ahi, will that make a bounce up to 515 here off the VWAP? I wouldn't want it to break 5, that's for sure. It's pulled back here, back towards 515. Let's see if it reloads here. Do I take a trade on this? A little part of me wants to just mess around and take a trade on this. Let's have a little fun here. Let me see if I can get in on it on like 515s, 510 on this pullback. Let's see, where's the money? The money always talks 510. So like, let's do like 512, and then I'll risk off of $5 here. All right, order out at 512s. Boom, just got filled there. Now I just got to put the stop limit in here. We're gonna do 498 trigger. 495 on the actual price because I do like stop limits. So risking about like $10 on the small account challenge here on Ahi. Got it at 512s. Let's see what happens, guys. Taking an Ahi trade, Ryan.
All right. I'm out of Ahi. I have no just scalped that for some lunch money.
We'll see what happens, man. There's the 510s. That's where I saw some money maybe come in and try to get the stock back. Let's see if it just makes that move right back up above the VWAP and then takes out 525. And Anything below 5 will get me out.
Hey, since I won last night, anyone want to go out to lunch? I have lunch money.
My boy, man. My man said I'm going out to lunch. Where are we
Lunch
going to
on
lunch,
Nick today.
Where are we going to lunch? What sounds good? What do you like?
I don't know. I could go for some Chick-fil-A.
Never go wrong with Chick-fil-A, man.
You know, I just had it yesterday, but you know.
Always large fry when I'm at Chick-fil-A. Large fry, baby.
Or Chipotle. I don't know.
Chipotle, that's one of my favorites.
And no soda, lemonade. Lemonade or the
water to stay
Sunkist.
hydrated.
Arnold Palmer. I love those.
Spiked Arnold Palmer's, baby.
Yeah, Ryan. You know,
But I
baby.
drink on the golf course, man.
You just go, you get your Chick-fil-A, and you go to the golf course, baby.
You golfing this weekend, Ryan?
Yes, I am doing a ton of it. I'm golfing at a course around here that I've never played at on Saturday. Then on Sunday morning, I fly to Detroit early in the morning, and Sunday afternoon I play in Michigan, and then I hope to play after work all of next week as I'm in the office. So yes,
You'll be in the office on Monday.
I'll be in the office on Monday through Friday, baby, all of next week.
Wow, we're gonna get a different look.
You get that a number of times throughout the year. Anyway, real quick, Alexa saying, Ryan, what do you think of a long on SQ at 56.56? Okay, so let's take a look at the SQ chart. One of the things that I'm noticing right here is that 55.22 is going to be some support. Okay, this is going to be a pretty important support level. So number one, buying where you're buying at 56.56, I don't think that's very far away from this support. So if you want to take this trade and trade it against this support, maybe just call it 55 even, there's your downside. It's worth noting here that 51 is the next support level down. Let me go ahead and mark that as well. 51.65, let's call it 51.50 is your next support level. So this area in here is support. So I'd factor your trade based on what you can hold through. I like the range back up to 80 if it can turn around. I'm just not sure it's going to do this in this environment. So what I would do is structure your trade so that your downside is all right. You don't lose too much. And then see if you can actually get this to ride back up. I like Square as a company. I like the product. I don't like the chart, and I don't like the environment we're in.
All right, Ahi, back to VWAP. We don't want it to come right back down now. Just want it to take off now. So it's 517s now. Let's go, baby. Got 61 shares in the Mumu account here at 512s. Let's see if this could really start moving here. It's not an insane amount, right? But still, it's a small account challenge. So that's not bad for my small account. Put it this way. This is probably one of the biggest bet I've taken in small account challenge. I'm willing to take a little bit. Let's see what happens. All right, 518 starting to show up. Let's see if we can really start taking out. I don't see too much selling on like big sellers waiting until 545. So what I'm hoping is they take it quickly to that level. We'll see if they take it quickly back to 545, and then maybe we could get into a halter. Let's find out. There's only one way to find out, right? All right, guys.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
Ryan, I have no comments.
And speaking of food, because we are speaking of food coming up next, guys, don't miss it. We're going to get into a new innovation era, fast casual restaurants coming up. Our virtual event that's coming up right after this, guys. You guys don't want to miss that. That's today at, of course, 11, just right after this. So stick around, team. We'll bring you guys to the virtual webinar. That's coming up next. And that'll be right here, of course, on Benzinga.
Is that streaming here on YouTube?
I think, is it? Let me see.
I don't see it.
I'm trying to find it. Maybe it's just, it's on our events thing. Hold on. I might have to give you the event link.
Okay, I was going to say, let's not promote fake news here.
Let me see here.
You are fake news.
I might be fake news.
I got the drop ready, Nick. Don't worry. If this turns out to be fake, I got the drop.
Okay, good.
At least you got the drop. Let's just say
He got cooked. Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh? He got cooked.
Mitch is creating his own soundboard over there.
Mitch is the OG soundboard king.
We need a
I
website
declare
called Soundboard.
bankruptcy. Let's see what happens, guys. Ahi.
And this is why we need to all be in the office.
Be yelling if I was in the office. You guys know me.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm not going to the office until they mandate it. But I hope they don't.
Or bringing you
It's
in,
fun.
Nick.
No, it's fun. The
Bringing
office
you
is a
in.
lot of fun. I'm convinced that everyone that works at BZ should go to the office. There's a lot that you can learn from doing it, and it's a lot of fun.
That would be fun to do the show. I mean, Ryan has done it, but be like actually on set and do the show. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, guys. I will get back to you on that one. Let's just say that much. I'm just focusing on Ahi here. Trying to get that tuna. All right, let's see it, man. Let's see it. Let's see if I can slow tune this thing up a little bit. You know, sometimes I just like to, you know, play tunes for my positions, you know.
Ahi, good call, smoked tuna. I love that smoked tuna is trading Ahi because all I'm thinking about is Ahi tuna now because of this, just so you're aware. But you're right here on Ahi that pushed through the VWAP. We're now back testing that VWAP. If this holds, I agree with you. I like this higher here, and I think this is worth watching. The spot right in here.
Thank you, Ryan.
Great
I like that outlook. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby,
Mitch.
don't hurt me.
Oh, Mitch.
I think they would appreciate this in the office. You want to do the show from the office Monday? I'd rather fly. I'll fly into this weekend if needed.
Oh, my man said I made 600 right quick.
Yeah, I'm flying in.
I'll fly in.
Let him fly, baby. Let him fly.
Mitch.
I'll fly in. I'll start packing right after the show.
My man said, I got this. I got this. Let's go. Let's go. My man said, it's money, 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 baby. I got this. All right, guys. What are you guys seeing out there? I know I've been stuck in the Ahi tuna here, but just to let you guys know, the Oxy just stopped out there, break even on that little dip down there, but it's coming back. So I got stopped out, break even. I could get back into this trade now for the 64 break, but since I'm in Ahi, I'm just trying to focus at one trade at a time here. So I'm just going to focus on Ahi, keep my mind on that one, but Oxy's still looking good. I want to let you guys know that I'm out of it, though, so that if you guys see it run, you guys can let me know. I probably missed it, but hey, if you wanted to get out, break even there and not stay into it as I had that other position of risk. And BTU for the swing, that's still looking good. I just want to add to this a little bit later and just kind of be patient with it. And if I do add to this, I'm going to be, you know, watching for hourly pullbacks towards like kind of 22.10, 22.15s. But I'm really looking for this to get back to 23 and pretty quickly. It should take about like a day or two, at least in my outlook, to get back up there. And if I can't get back up there in about a day or two, then that'll also tell me something. We'll see what happens there on coal. All right. And how's the tech trade there? Let me focus in. Ahi pulling back already. Oh, it might get me out here, guys. We'll see. Back to 504. Q's still going down, man. Starting to bounce a little bit off that 361. How's Microsoft? 319, pretty weak there. Let's see if this starts to make its way back. Apple down to 174 today. So that one pretty weak. What did Walmart do? Continued a little bit of a leak there. Costco never filling me on that 558. It went to 557.66. I just left the orders out there just hoping to see if they'd get filled. It didn't fill me, man, but it was a good outlook. We talked about this one for a potential short, even on pre-market prep. I started talking as soon as we started talking about Walmart. I brought up really quickly, what about that Costco turnaround after you're seeing this type of action in Walmart today? And boom, there goes Costco. All right, let's go back to the Ahi. Still a battle here. 5-minute wicking there, but not cracking. So as long as it doesn't go through 5, I'm still in this name. I'll take the shot, right? And I think that I already know where my risk is. So that's what matters most. XLE holding VWAP. Yeah, that's probably a good sign there for oil. All done. No quality setups for me. Don't force trades that aren't there. Out of boredom. 100% chilled monkey.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest things
guys.
that I think is important. I talk about it all the time. Know when to hit the brake pedal, knowing to hit the gas pedal represents a lot of the difference between traders that are deep red, break even, or actual what I call thriving traders, which actually make profits, right? That's what a lot of it, I feel, determines the difference there. It's that you're going for those quality setups and you're not forcing over trades, right? And if you are taking other trades, it's always about risk to reward, right? I talk about how you got to keep the mathematical probability in your favor. Once you lose mathematical probability, we get smacked, like right there, smacked out of Ahi. So that's what it's all about. I could hear it in my ear. I knew I got out there. So taking a little bit of a hit there, about an $8 loss on the small account, but that's fine. That's $2 more than the average loss on the small account, and that's what it's about.
Nothing. Yeah, that's really well done. See, I think one of the reasons that you're doing the best in that challenge, Mitch, is because you've done the best job controlling your downside risk. It's not actually about the profits, which does seem counterintuitive, especially early. But what's happening here is that you're actually protecting your downside. So everything that you make on the upside is adding to what you've done, as opposed to having to claw back like I've had to do a few times.
Yeah, and it's important to me to try to just be consistent. And consistency to me is more important than big gains. I think that once you figure that out and you search for consistency versus big gains, it's going to help you really start focusing on what? Always risk to return, because all I'm worried about is just keeping the right accuracy that I have and the right risk to reward profile that I have. If I can do that, I don't even care what type of patterns I'm really playing. I know so many patterns now, guys, that I don't necessarily go for one pattern. I look at the stock, I judge it a lot based on the daily charts and things like that. That's where daily patterns can come more into play. But intraday patterns, I'm just trying to use my day trading skills to master the stock that day if I feel that stock is going to do well. And so I think that it's very important to try to use multiple skills there. And if you're going about these stocks, always keeping in mind, you can go from a $9 stock to a $500 stock. The only difference there is risk to return. And another big thing is volatility. How much volatile is this stock? What do you expect the moves to be? Because if the expected moves on the volatility are going to be, 50, 60%, I'll tell you right now, I'm never going to play another play where I have a 60% downside risk. It just will never happen again. I've already told myself things like that just don't make sense for my style of trading. And once you can actually really just have that discipline, you can focus on what? Okay, let's just focus on risk to return. Let's keep playing this game. And we know that we come in the market every day versus that we're taking it one, this one trade needs to go well. No, it doesn't. That's why I like losing on Ahi right there. Did you guys see any change even in my tone of voice? No, it is what it is, right? You know what I mean? We take a shot, we stick to the risk and return, and we live with the outcome, and we just keep playing the game, guys. Keep playing.
Really good question here for you, Mitch. I'd like you to address if you're all right with it. RSA is asking, Mitch, your initial thesis for today was a bounce in the market. How do you reset yourself and your bias when it doesn't pan out and look for an alternative trade? This is an excellent question because this is something that I struggled with for a long, long time. And in fact, even some days now, like when I get slapped around, I say to myself, you know what? You're just not in the right headspace. Walk away. Just walk away. So I'm curious to hear your answer. I'll add to it at the end.
Yeah, I love this question. It's a really good question, right? I talk about this all the time, and I think you guys have probably heard me say this before that has been here in the past, right? What I would say is you always need to know two sides of the market, not one side of the market. So I had a bullish thesis today, and I have an outline for a bearish thesis, right? What are levels that I want to see break down that I'll be like, okay, no, the market's giving me bearish action today. So if I was thinking the position in just long, I usually those days, what I'll do is I'll respect that market action, overall market action, and I'm not going to go long into technology when I do this. When I go into my main chart and I see technology is the leading sector to the downside today. That makes no sense in me trying to play day trades to the upside. Maybe if I'm swing trading, I'm buying discounts, stocks are pulling back. That's a whole nother ballgame. But we're talking day trading here, right? That's how I want to keep it. So also for RSA, just to kind of put that in perspective, right? In a swing trade, it'd be a little bit different. But so now we're get back to the thesis, right? So if we see the cues, and I was expecting a move back to the 9 EMA, but then we break through these daily lows, right here just told me already that I needed to be careful. This kind of 364.72 is starting to act as resistance. That is not good outlook. We want to recover levels that were prior supports, especially daily levels. And what do? We start climbing towards it, and then boom, reject right back down through support. And when you especially see it going through pre-market action, like we had this morning where it was just bullish and then we just cut through there, that just tells me enough. And use stocks that are very important for the market. We're looking for a big reaction on Microsoft eventually, at least I am, for a reversal in the market. But it hasn't happened yet. I am getting slowed down of Microsoft, but not like this big up move. That's what I need for the bulls to come back in. I want Nvidia to make that move, and I'd want Microsoft to make that move, which are big leading AI stocks, right? So unless I saw Microsoft ripping today and the Q's pulling back a little bit, then maybe I could have been like, okay, this is a little bit of a mixed signal. But no, what did we saw? We saw leaders go down today, Apple going down. Once that tells me that I start seeing leadership going down with the Q's, with the SPY, and I see financials also in the red today, which are a big concern for me, that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, this is red bleeding action at the open. And the only way to play that to me, day trading, would be to short. And that wasn't shorting today. At least that wasn't my mentality. So what I do is I said I'd hit the brake pedal. Some traders are hitting the gas pedal on the short side when they see that type of action. But remember, we will always get a lot of reversals in the intraday action. This is why I think a lot of day traders struggle, because it's never a lot of the times just one way in the market. So I feel like the market already played some downside action, and now you're getting that reversal action. Now the only question is, will this new kind of little push here in the afternoon actually hold? And so you can start looking at what? The bigger stocks, right? I'd start looking at Microsoft, Apple. Can they start holding VWAP? If I saw Apple go back to VWAP here, and I saw Microsoft leading towards like 321, 322s, that'd be a different story. I'd start calling back the bounce that I was looking initially in the day. It just may be making a later day move. And this is how you have to stay with the market, right? It's never just one way. And there's a big difference between day trading, swing trading. You always need to be looking at both sides of the move. Tell yourself before the day opens, where do I see the bulls coming in the market? Where do I see the bears coming in? Answer that question, and you'll have both sides of the coin. Sorry for the long-winded answer there.
That was a good question that required that.
But definitely that's the term that I would use, more quote, know both sides of the coin, right? What's the bearish outlook? What's the positive outlook is very important. Even when you're in the trade, like let's say you're going to take a long on Ahi. Where did the bears come in? Where did the bulls come in? That's a lot of what I'm thinking. How do you feel on shorts on days like today? You have to be quick to the gun. So like, let's say stocks that went down today. You guys can tell me some stocks that went down and that you guys want to take a look at to kind of think about how we would have gone about them, right? Like let's say maybe this Intel. That's one of the leading stocks on the downside in the Qs today. And so Intel got hit really hard, right? And so how do we play this? Well, the only way to play this is to see a move going through the hourly supports and then attacking it that way. So I would be looking at hourly support. Maybe you even drew it down to this 33.39, or you drew it a little bit closer towards the action, towards kind of the 33.46. So at the gates, I'm looking for those to get really hit quickly and then a move back to VWAP. I usually always look for what's called the VWAP fade. If I'm looking to short a stock, I'm looking for a stock to make big down moves, come back to VWAP, which is the orange line, and then smack that through. This is exactly what Intel did today, but you would have to get it right out the gates to do that. And then it just faded away. Now I'd be looking for moves back to that VWAP to fade again. And right now that would be like a 32.80, but I mean, you already got the downside action move, right? And so a lot of times I'd be covering into this and just piecing out along the way. I'd be like, piece out there, piece out here. Oh, it takes another leg lower. I'm piecing out. I have the tiniest amount. I pieced out and I'm out completely. Boom. Do I get all this action? No, I probably missed this little piece, but that's the way I'd be doing it. Like how you saw Ryan talk about how when a stock rips to the upside, we want to sometimes just take profits as it goes along. Same thing I'd be doing here in the short on a daily type of trade, just day trade, pure day trade.
Kevin asking, can you take a look at a Tesla long? So I'm actually doing that right now. Literally looking at that. I was just having a discussion with 13. I don't know. 13, are you here? I was having a discussion via phone. He might not be at his home computer. Regardless, we're talking about that. He actually took one. One of the things that he was saying here, RSI very, very low. I was looking for intraday entry. I said I'd want it more close to 224, and that seems to be where we're going here. 224.72 is the middle range of the Bollinger Band, but realistically, I'd like this to come down towards the VWAP. VWAP would also coincide with the bottom end of the Bollinger Band on the 1 minute chart. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. 13, if you have any other color or context that you'd like to add for Kevin here, for what to look for a potential Tesla long, that would be great. One of the things that I'm looking at this as is a short-term day trade. I don't know if that's 13's plan, so take that with a grain of salt. He might be trying to swing this.
I have an interesting answer here for SS Trades. Another question here about trading. And I feel like today we've been doing a little bit more education. Sometimes we'll be all on the trades, guys. Some days we'll be more on the education. And so we want to get back to you guys, really. And that's how Ryan and I do this in the first place. It's all about giving back to you guys, not necessarily just about Ryan and I's trading. Of course, we want to do good, but it's more to get back to you guys. So SS Trades, good question here. How strictly do you stick to your stop loss? Sometimes I notice that the market hits my stop loss and reverses. And when I move the stop loss even more down to avoid it, it keeps going down and I lose more. So what I would say here, SS Trades, is always there's different outlooks, right? I'm not giving you the 100% solution. I'm giving you how I go about it, right? And that's how we can always learn. We can learn from each other's experiences, right? So what I do necessarily in this case is if I notice that, hey, I have to keep my stop loss tight on this position because I want to get into this position. And if it gets to that level on the chart, I have to put the stop loss right at the support. Well, then I might be just sized in too big. So what I'd want to do there is cut that sizing a little bit down so that I can give myself the level below that pure level of support so that I can give myself a little room for what? And we talk about this all the time. We talk about how wicks can be tricks. So a lot of times you're going to get a wick through an important support level and then the stock recovers. So I want to give myself enough room that I can give myself a little room there for a wick to come and I'm still even below that wick and then the stock recovers. The only way to do that is usually going to be to downsize on the sizing so that it can expand expand some risk. But if I expand risk, I'm always expanding reward, right? And that's all that matters, right? And so that risk to loss ratio is what comes into play here. Maybe sizing down can give you a little bit more risk space, but you of course going to have to maybe go for a little bit more reward. but just that giving yourself that little room there and not putting the stop loss where everyone has the stop loss could help you. I see this all the time where it goes right to that level, the wick, and bounces back.
All right. So as far for me for stop loss here, couple of things. Number one, let me refresh this. I don't know why my signals went out.
No worries. We're
Number
going to finish on
one-
this question. It's already 11, but we have too much fun sometimes.
Oh, shoot. I didn't even realize the time. Okay. I'll be quick. So first of
you're
all,
good.
when
You're
it comes
good,
to
Ryan.
stops, your first stop is your best stop. I'm not a fan of saying this is my stop and then moving it down because it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And you're just going to lose more money doing that. If you're noticing that when you place your stop, the stock price comes into your stop, stops you out, and then goes back, one of the things that I would consider doing is lowering your stop a little. Now, that might mess with your risk management. And if it does mess with the amount of acceptable loss on that particular trade, what I would do then is reduce your position size such that you can lower your stop loss and not infringe on the risk management parameters that you really need to stick to. I mean, you really need to stick to those. So that's how I would approach it. By the way, Tesla continuing to move down to its VWAP here, getting juicy, getting
We'll see what
interesting.
happens there on Tesla.
Would love for this to come back down here. Oh, it's bouncing already. We'll see. So anyway, so that's kind of that's the way I would approach this. Recognize those patterns and then adjust your strategy, but don't ever forget about the risk profile that you have set for yourself. Don't allow yourself to start taking bigger losses. By the way, just an update here. I started out of the gate here 0 for 1 on PRZO. I made all of that money back plus several $100s on top of that. So considering I started with a really, really crappy trade after having a crappy day yesterday, I'm really happy with where I'm at from trading HE and AHI and Turka. So good stuff.
All right, guys, I do want to let you guys know that I just added to BTU. I had a smaller position added to that one. That's my only swing trade on right now. You want to find out more of that, come to Start Swing Trade. That's going to start at 3:30 today. And then who knows? I might just have Nick Brown join me. I mean, he is going to go to school soon. So, Nick, you want to be there? You're on mute, but I heard exactly what that
Calendar's
was.
free. Calendar's free.
I'm good at lip reading. That was that was like, yeah, sounds good to me. You see, I got you, Nick. I got you, my friend. Yeah, we'll have you there, guys. Come check us out a little later today. We'll see if we get into the green. I took a little bit more BTU. We'll see if coal continues to the upside. Can energy continue going? We'll find out. Utilities, real estate having a good day today. And definitely technology, defensives, and cyclicals still in the red. Healthcare is in the red, financials, industrials, communications. It's only 4 sectors in the green from the open. We'll see if that changes by the end of the day. Find out, of course, on Start Swing Trade. We'll always be right here to push forward, guys. Hit the like button. You guys know it. We'll be here. Keep pushing forward, and we'll see you next time, team. Hit the like button on your way out. All right, time to wrap it up here, guys. Have a good one. Take care. I'll see you a little later.